Well, hello. What's going on, guys? Thanks for being here. Thanks for clicking on this video. This is a face that some of you probably didn't expect to see again, and some of you probably have forgotten, and that's okay either way. But I am glad to be here today. It's just this morning with you, and it's been a while. I looked actually just before I hopped on this video. It's been 111 days since I've uploaded last. My plan in this video is to keep it kind of simple, kind of short. Just kind of catch you guys up on the last 111 days. I promise I won't go day by day. Kind of let you know what we've been doing and kind of state of the bus, where we are and where we've been, and kind of where we're headed. Got a lot I want to tell you and a lot I want to cover, and most of all, I'm grateful you're here. I'm grateful to be here. It's been a while. It's been far too long. But yeah, guys, thanks for joining me today, and appreciate you clicking on this old video. Man, it is utterly freezing here in Michigan. So yeah, I mean, let's just jump right into kind of where we've been, what's been going on the last few weeks, the last 110 days, if you will. So we left Washington. I think it was basically the last time I saw you guys. We were kind of packing up, getting ready to head out of Washington State, and we made about a 10-day trek east. Stopped in South Dakota for a couple days, visited with some friends, had a good time. Pretty smooth drive overall. Jen ended up driving the majority of the time. Was still having a lot of issues with the turn signals. Really didn't have that figured out yet. So we hooked up some, and she drove the majority of the way. Other than that, we just drove. We drove a lot. Made it all the way to Michigan. I believe we rolled into Michigan on August the 1st. Made our way to the School of UP event, which we had a good time. It was at a different location this year. Got to see a lot of old friends, made some new ones. Even better yet, I was able to, with the help of a couple friends, figure out the flasher problem on the bus, or in theory, figure out the problem with the flasher on the bus. And I'll get more into that here in a little bit. Spent the 10 days at School of UP and had a good time. It was kind of a nice stop, rest, if you will, after the, I don't even remember how many miles, 2,300 miles or something. It was a long way from Washington to Michigan. Ended up spending our time there, and had to make our way down to southern Michigan, basically directly after the event. Jen had to have a little bit of minor surgery. So we kind of did that for a little while, dealt with that. She had her surgery. Kind of spent the next few weeks, or a couple of weeks at least, in the middle Michigan area, up around the thumb, what they call the thumb of Michigan, with her recovery. And before we knew it, it was time to report to the beet harvest, which is where we currently still are. We reported, I believe, don't hold me to this, September the 17th. Ended up working out. Jen was able to get the camp host position for the Bay City district. So we reported September the 17th, and she went to work and basically, kept the campground going, had the people coming in, checking them in. That started on the 17th. A couple days in, as a lot of you know, I was planning to work the beet harvest. We were having dinner with a good friend of ours, and she had mentioned that they needed a harvest lead for the beet harvest coming up. So it's like, okay, then that's kind of interesting, So basically that meant my position, or if I ended up getting that job, it was going to start within the next week. So I said, yeah, why not? Me and Jen discussed it. It was a good opportunity to make some really good money, and I was already here. Jen was already, doing her thing here at the campground for the beet harvest. So I was like, you know what, why not? So I went and interviewed, got the job, started like 3 days later, and I really didn't know what I signed up for, to be honest with you. I mean, I kind of had an idea of the job, but for the next 6 weeks, I worked 11 hours a day, 5 days a week, at the piling grounds of the Michigan sugar facility, basically learning the operation and learning the equipment, and then training the incoming employees. It was an experience. It took me, the first couple of weeks were rough. I have not done that kind of work in a really long time. And I'm not gonna lie, I was having to get up at like 5 a.m., be to work by like 6, and work till like 5 or 6 every evening, which is great. I mean, the money was fantastic, wonderful opportunity, but man, that first couple of weeks kicked my butt. So that went on, it was good. I kind of got adjusted, and I was working with some wonderful people, other nomads, other people who traveled, all various walks of life. So it was an interesting look for me to kind of see that side of the world again, because I really haven't been in that side of the world in quite a long time. So fast forward 6 weeks doing that, everything's going good. So the harvest is approaching at this point. It got delayed a little bit because it was pretty warm in Michigan. Honestly, we really did not get cold here till about 2.5, 3 weeks ago, and it started getting cold. So it's the harvest date, start date was approaching. We received our shift updates. I was put on the night shift, which is something I was not wanting to happen, and I was really not looking forward to, but nonetheless, it did happen. So I reported, and the weather, not to get too much into the whole beet harvesting world, but the weather has to be cool. They can't harvest the beets if the weather's over 55 degrees, more or less. Is kind of the gist of it. So the weather was cold, and at night it was even colder. So anyway, so we work 12-hour shifts. So basically, when the beet harvest starts, we don't stop unless it's for weather. And like I said, the weather for beet harvesting was absolutely perfect. So long story short, the next 9 days, I worked 12 to 13 hours a day, or night, 6 a.m., 6 p.m. for the next 9 nights. And day 2, I had a toothache come in. I'd never had a toothache in my life, so I was dealing with that. Day 3 or 4 started coming around, and I came down with this cold, and I'm still fighting it to this day. Let me tell you what, guys, this was a test of just it tested everything I had. It took everything I had to get through this process, from lack of sleep, because I don't sleep well as it is, much less during the day, much less with children in the bus. It was a challenge. It took everything I had in me to keep going, because I was just like, oh my, I'm so tired. I'm delirious. Like, I felt like a walking zombie most of the time. With that being said, I do want to mention Jen has been an absolute rock star through this whole process. On top of her job, what she was doing, she took over basically anything that I was doing in the bus, and then everything she was doing on top of that, plus her assignment here at the beet harvest too. She was cooking, she was cleaning, she was grocery shopping, she was doing laundry. I mean, the girl was killing it. I could not have done it without her. This family would have not have made it through this, or I personally would have not have made it through this without Jen. So she absolutely stepped up to the plate and has done a miraculous job. And I am so proud and grateful for her. She cooked every night. You know, she kept the fridge stocked. She kept the kids fed. She kept the kids' education going, all in the while doing her duties here at the campground for the Michigan sugar beet harvest. So yeah, put her some love in the comments, guys. She deserves it. I mean, we're all just so tired. Yeah, my contract ended up a couple days ago, and I could not be happier. You know, it was a great experience. I'm glad I did it. You know, I made really good money for the last few weeks. And I learned a lot. I learned that I don't want to do that kind of work anymore. Absolutely, 100%. Do not want to do that for a living. I have my hats off to those of you out there who do that type of work for a living. It is no joke. It is hard work. It is long hours. It is exhausting. And those of you that do it, my hat's off to you, because it kicked my butt. You know, it's one of them things. I'm glad I did it. I'm even more glad it's over. I've been asked a lot in the last few days if I'm going to do it again. I don't know. You know, we'll see where we are this time next year. I don't want to, per se, but if I need to, if I have to, it's a good opportunity to make some really good money in a short amount of time. But that's kind of what we've been doing, you know. It's been interesting. There's some more I would like to cover, and I mean not even do it in this video and the other, it's maybe some upcoming videos. But yeah, it's been a whirlwind. It's been exhausting. It's been eye-opening. All in all, though, the experience has been good. It's been worth it for one reason or another. You know, we're here in this place right now. It's absolutely freezing today. It's like 30-something degrees outside right now. It is so cold. I am ready to get out of here. Jen's contract, unfortunately, is not up yet. She is obligated to be here until basically everyone else leaves. So we're hoping in the coming days that's going to happen. We don't have an exact day yet, but it's coming. It's winding down. So that's kind of what we're waiting on. In this video, I do have a couple things on the bus. You know, I've left you guys with the flasher issues, so I got to get this bus ready to go, because when we do get the word that we can leave, I want to be out of here, because it's getting cold, and it seems like that's not going to slow down probably till next spring. So I want to get this bus ready and kind of go through a little bit of what we discovered on the flasher issue. Yeah, that's kind of where we are. That's kind of where we are, and where we're headed after we leave here, we're headed to Florida. We're going to be headed down to Florida. We're going to take a few days to get down there. make a couple stops along the way, and I'm going to film it. You know, I'm ready to film again. I'm in a good headspace. You know, when I left you guys 111 days ago, I was not in a very good headspace. My depression was deep. You know, I've been struggling big time for the better part of a year, you know, with the bus situation that we've been going through and finances and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera type thing. And, but I found something that really works for me. I started running and exercising daily, basically right after school UP. So mid-August, I did that. I was like, you know what do I got to lose? So I started walking every day. I would do 3 miles a day, every single day, rain, shine, rain, sun, snow, sleet, hell, whatever, I was doing it. There was no excuses. I'm exercising every day. A couple weeks in, I was like, it started getting easy on me, but I was feeling good. I was starting to feel the difference. So I was like, why don't I try running? You know, I haven't ran since I was a kid, or teenager probably. So I started doing that. I downloaded an app. I'll put it down below. It's actually really good. Basically, it's trains you for a 5K run, which is kind of one of my goals that I have coming up. I turned 40 January the 26th. As I'm filming this, I want to say it's probably around November the 8th. So I got a little bit of time. I haven't been running or exercising near as much since the beet harvest has started. So I've got a little bit of making up to do, but I think I should be fine. I should be able to run that 5K by my birthday in a couple months, and gonna bring you guys along on that journey with me. It's been life-changing for me. I mean, I don't know if you can tell I'm losing weight. I mean, I don't know what I weigh. I don't know how much weight I've lost. I honestly have not weighed myself once. I'm not really doing this solely for weight loss, but it's a good byproduct of exercising and kind of watching what I eat and running. But it has just helped my mental health tremendously. It's kind of, it gives me something to be accountable for. It gives me something to strive for. It gives me something to work towards. And it just kind of, a simple way of putting it, just kind of clears my brain up enough to not be depressed or sad. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's really the best way I can describe it right now. So it's been good. You know, running has been something I never thought I would do, but I enjoy the suffering of it, the challenge of it. Like when you're doing it, like you're running, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate, like you feel like you're gonna die, like especially when you haven't ran in years. It's exhausting, and your body's like, what are you doing? And you're just wrecking yourself for this, whatever that duration may be, whether it's 30 seconds or an hour. You know, I'm so proud of myself. I was running in 10-minute increments before I had to stop before the beet harvest. I just didn't have any gas left in the tank after working 12-hour shifts. I can't. I just did what I could. But I'm gonna get back to it here. I already started today, and man, it's helped me unbelievably. I can't even describe how much it's helped me. And it's something I do want to talk about more on this channel because it's so important. And it's so simple. It's hard, but it's simple. I don't want to call it simple because I know it is hard. I know it's hard to make yourself go out there and run and do things like this. It is not easy. It's not something you just naturally want to do until you do it and see how well it works for you and how much it can help you. Or at least that's the way it's worked for me. And I think it can work for you that way too. So I definitely want to talk more about that in upcoming videos, because for me it's been life-changing, and you know, I'm excited to see where I go with it. And there's been, you know, there was some tricks along the way, some things I had to figure out, as with anything, but it's been amazing. But I'm gonna stop rambling now. I've been rambling for about 12 minutes, and I'm gonna kind of show you what we got going on with the bus, and maybe talk a little bit more about the future, what we got going on with this channel. And I'd love you guys to stick around. You guys mean a lot to me, and you keep me coming back. You know, there's no reason for me to do this other than the people that watch this video. But I think I'm gonna wrap that up for now. We'll see you here in a minute. All right, so let's kind of catch you guys up a little bit. I was having a flasher issue for quite a long time. I shouldn't say a long time. Basically, the majority of the time we were in Washington. So I had determined pretty early on that this was the flasher right here. Apparently, though, there was a second flasher. So we went to school at UP, and I had a friend, Jade, and he introduced me to another man who owns this exact same model bus. So we were able to kind of reference back and forth on, you know, similarities while, you know, checking parts and whatnot. His was slightly different. His was a couple years older, and it had been started its life as a road coach, where mine never was in service as a road coach. Nonetheless, apparently there is a second flasher, and that second flasher went bad. it honestly, it's taken me a while to find one. Luckily, I found one in one of my bus groups. A guy, he had one. He had an MCI like mine that he sells parts off of. He had said flasher. This is it. This is it. It's basically, I paid him 75 bucks shipped to my door for it. Bit steep in my opinion, but nonetheless, it's here. It was tested. He said it worked. So we're going to throw it in there, and we are going to hope and cross our fingers that this, once and for all, finishes my flasher problem. So actually, just to kind of go back a little bit, so Doc Kildar was the man who had the other bus like mine, which he helped me out so much. I appreciate everything he did. He's pretty handy, and he'd done some work on these buses throughout the years. So we bypassed the flasher and just did it where it was wired directly. So the signal would come on, but I would have to actually use the movement of the turn signal itself on the inside to create the flashing, to make it flash. So, because basically that's what this does. You push it down, this creates that click, 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 that intermittent light in and out. It's basically what this device does. So I was having to simulate that with my head. Not ideal, but it worked to get us down here. So the goal is to get this on. We're going to go in there, hopefully fire this bus up, because like a dummy, I have not started this bus in 2 months. So we're going to fire it up, and hopefully our problem for once and for all is fixed. All right, make sure the power's off. All right, power is off. Got my flasher hooked up. I didn't mount it yet. I just went in and hooked it up. Got my connection there. I got right there, my yellow one going to the 69 stud there. So here's the old one just flopping there. So what I'm going to do is test it out first. Unfortunately, I went to test it out, and the bus is stone dead. I mean, deader than dead. I'm actually hoping the batteries are still okay, because it was like nothing. So gotta let that charge a little bit. Got my little Napa charger on there. Sit here and let it charge for a little bit, and then we'll test it out and try to fire this bus up. And then we'll get that thing mounted, and hopefully, with a little bit of luck, our turn signal flasher, aka flasher problems, will be over. Man, it's been a pain in the butt. Yeah, guys, let me catch up with you here in a little bit. Let this charge probably an hour or so. Well, as of now, the batteries are still stone dead, so I'm gonna have to replace these. So yeah, I don't know if you can see it. It says 6 of 22 there. So I mean, they're definitely old. They're definitely in that time area to be replaced. So next video, it looks like I'm gonna be going battery shopping with you, and hopefully getting this bus ready to leave, because at the moment she's not doing anything, and I can't even test my flasher right now. That is where I'm going to leave you in this one. I didn't want to make this video very long. I'm going to get you guys caught up a little bit, and I think I have all but accomplished that. And we'll pick you up right here in the next video, getting this bus ready, road ready, hopefully get these batteries situated, get those turn signals ready, and we will be on that road here in the next couple of days. But yeah, guys, I'm glad to be back. I'm glad you're here, and thanks for sticking with me and showing back up for another old video. And till next time, guys, take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll talk soon. Bye, guys.